Good evening. We told you last month that the feds are in fact investigating APD, looking for a pattern of misbehavior and lack of oversight.
Well, now we have learned that investigation runs deep, with the FBI looking into almost 24 cases. And we now know what some of those cases are. Here's News 13's Alex Tomlin.
Dick, Jessica, round up the usual suspects: Matt Kendall, Levi Chavez, John Doyle, and Robert Wolliver. And the list goes on. We've learned those are just some of the cases that the DOJ is looking at to see if APD is out of control. It's a run of problems that's triggered calls for the Department of Justice to step in and investigate the Albuquerque Police Department. Last year, in the wake of more than a dozen police shootings, APD hired a national law enforcement think tank to see what the department could do better. The group came up with 40 recommendations. Chief among them, hire less aggressive officers and do away with the paramilitary culture at APD. The chief hoped taking a proactive approach and adjusting dozens of policies would be enough to keep the feds from coming in and forcing his department to make sweeping, expensive changes.
This is what Perf said we should do, and we've taken the bull by the horns.
While the city says it's waiting on official word to see if there will be a formal DOJ investigation, earlier this week the chief told us he's already opened the door to the feds.
You are more than welcome at any time to come in and look at any investigation that we have. And they've taken us up on that offer.
Something they have done several times over his 30 years with APD. But News 13 has now learned the feds have launched an in-depth investigation into almost 24 specific cases from the past 5 years. We've learned what some of those cases are, and they run the gamut from civil rights issues to possible criminal conduct by officers, like fired cop Levi Chavez, who's accused of murdering his wife Tara back in 2007 to keep her from talking to investigators.
I'm innocent, Your Honor, and I plead not guilty.
There are allegations that Chavez and his police buddies were stealing drugs on the job and selling them, and that those same buddies helped Chavez stage the theft of his truck for insurance money. News 13 has learned that DOJ is also looking at some of the questionable police shootings since 2010. The feds want to know if bad hiring practices, training, or other factors contributed to those shootings. Sources tell us they're also focusing on cases of excessive force, like this arrest caught by a security camera in a parking garage last year. The video cost 2 cops their jobs, and the arrest captured by police lapel camera video this summer that News 13 uncovered. It showed cops storming an apartment without a warrant, repeatedly tasing an onlooker, and then stepping on a suspect's head after he'd surrendered. Those videos led to criminal charges for this officer. The feds also want to know about corruption, too. Take Matt Kendall, for example. He was fired last year after he was caught in an undercover sting bribing a prostitute for sex.
We haven't agreed to do anything for money, so I wouldn't get in trouble.
APD investigators also say Kendall had a side job working for a pimp. The DOJ is looking at every one of these cases to see if there is a pattern of civil rights violations or a lack of oversight in the department. If there is a criminal charge to be filed, the case will be handed over to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sources say the DOJ has noted APD's preemptive changes, like making officers wear lapel cameras. They want APD to have a system in place where cases of excessive force don't fall through the cracks or get swept under the rug, something that still didn't happen this summer when it took News 13 to alert the chief about those excessive force videos. The mayor did not want to comment on this story, saying he wanted to wait until the DOJ sends a formal letter of investigation. Dick?
All right, Alex, if the feds do come back with a list of formal demands because of what they find, it would not only be a huge embarrassment for APD and the city, it would also cost millions of dollars to implement those changes.